Hi there, business owner. Are you looking to improve your business knowledge? Do you want to see behind the scenes of successful businesses? And more importantly, are you looking to build a better business in just 15 minutes each week? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to the 3Bs podcast. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, where we like to build a better business in just 15 minutes each week. If you're new here, hi, I'm your host Stephanie, and this week I wanted to talk to you about opportunities. Now, as a business owner, you will be on the lookout for opportunities at all times, and you will know that they can often appear from the craziest of places. So as an entrepreneur, in my personal experience, most of the opportunities have come from places we least expect. And if you are not open to looking for those opportunities in those strange places, in those unusual places, they could be passing you by. So this week, I wanted to share some of my personal experiences of some of the craziest opportunities that have happened and come around in the weirdest places and the weirdest circumstances, and also share my top tips for how you as a business owner can keep your eyes open for those opportunities that pass most people by. On with the episode. What do I mean by opportunities? Now, opportunities can be a range of different things. It can be new leads, new business. It can be a new product or service that you're going to add to your repertoire. It could be a connection or a network that opens something completely different to what you've been doing, but helps you build a better business. And that's just some of the examples of things that can come around. And for me personally, I came into this podcast 18 months ago, completely unaware of the doors it would open for me, both with my current practice ABCS UK and in the podcast world. One example of this that sticks really clearly in my mind is I was attending the Free From and Allergy show with my son. So for those that don't know, I have two children. My eldest is celiac, so he has been gluten-free for 7 years now and often misses out on lots of things because he can't have birthday cake at most birthday parties. You know, we can't just go for a takeaway because there's not always a suitable option. And these Free From an Allergy shows are great for us to attend, for him to try all the different foods that are on the market, find things he likes, find new options for packed lunches and dinners. And it gets to be about him. And he said something to me which will stick with me for a really long time. He said to me, "Mum, I'm the normal one here and you're not." And all he wants is, all any preteen wants, is to fit in and feel part of something. So we had a really great day. But what happened while we were there is I bumped into a business owner. So there was all the big companies that you can think of that do gluten-free food. So you've got Warburton's, you've got Henderson's Relish, you've got all of the dairy-free milk companies and bread companies that are about. And there was lots of smaller businesses. Now, I'm a business owner who has my eyes open for an opportunity at all times. And that is the one thing I want you to take from this week's episode. And that is, opportunities are everywhere, and they really are absolutely everywhere. So I went to look at all the smaller businesses. One, I like to support small businesses. Two, I did not know what we were going to find. And I think these places are the best way to make connections, is to meet people out and about in your everyday life. So I noticed the skincare brand Naturally Tiwa, and I recognized Shalom, who I saw speak on stage at SBS at Theopathetis' event back in February in Birmingham, and immediately went over to say hello. I had no idea that she would know who I was, that she would recognize me. It still blows my mind that these are the circles I'm in now as a business owner. So don't for one second think that I am special, because I'm not, and it could mean the same for you. But I went and said hello, wanted to look at the skincare that they were selling anyway and try some out, and built that connection. And she recognized me, she recognized my face, which I thought was incredible. And we spoke about what it is that I do. We spoke about this podcast, and I said, you would be an amazing fit for a guest. You're so inspirational. She was awarded an MBE earlier this year. She's an incredible human. with an incredible work ethic that matches my business morals too. And from meeting her at a show I went to with my son, I have a podcast guest, and there's some really exciting projects that we're going to work on together in the near future. So that wouldn't have happened had I not have gone to that allergy and free from show with my son. Another example of a opportunity that arose out of nowhere and completely unfounded was my first commission on LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a great social media platform for business to business and to meet other business owners. So if you provide a product or service to business owners, LinkedIn is a platform you want to be on to build those connections and expand your network. LinkedIn is somewhere that I feel most at home. It's definitely the social media platform you will find me on and active on the most. And my first commission from there was not a bookkeeping or accountancy client or a business development client, which is what we do. It was a consultancy work. So I was contacted and asked if I would provide some consultancy in an area that I'm an expert in. And that opportunity would never have arisen. I would never have looked for a business consulting opportunity. But now I can add business consultant to my professional CV and to my repertoire of things I can provide to help business owners and other businesses. But that opportunity again came out of nowhere. And quite often we will get influx of the sales DMs. We all know what they're like. They're horribly spammy. We all get the, I'd love to be part of your network, and within 30 minutes they're trying to sell you something or get you on a call to sell you something. And a lot of the times they end up in spam and you just don't even read them anymore. So if you do get a lot of them, I'm not saying spend hours every day, but be aware that opportunities are sitting in those DMs and can sit in those DMs. And I have done some consultancy work. I'm actually booked onto some more consultancy work for a different company, all because I made myself visible on LinkedIn and I spoke openly and didn't sit on the fence. That was one of the biggest things for me. My LinkedIn was fine. It was growing fairly steadily. But the minute I started being really honest and truthful and authentic and speaking out about the things that are not so glamorous in business, speaking out about the things that I didn't agree with, even if it was kind of against what everybody else seemed to be saying, people know, like, and trust that I'm authentic and I'm real and I'm honest. And that is off the back of that is where my business consultancy work has come from. So do have a look in those DMs because there could be some real opportunities hidden in there. Now, while we're on the topic of looking for opportunities that are hidden in plain sight, I wanted to mention yellow car theory. Now, if you haven't heard of yellow car theory, it's also known as the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon or the frequency illusion. So it is a cognitive bias. It's something that goes on in your brain subconsciously without you thinking of it. And confirmation bias specifically, which is mentioned in the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, is that your brain will subconsciously look for things in your environment, in your area, to prove your theory, to prove what you're thinking, to prove the ideas that you're having. So, for example, when I went to look for a new car, I was like, I don't want a silver car. Everyone drives silver cars. All of a sudden, everywhere I look, people are driving silver cars. And I don't know if that's ever happened to you. A particular model of car, when I got a new car, so there wasn't any on the road, didn't see any. And then I got one and then everyone seemed to have one and they were all over the roads. And that is your brain subconsciously finding that information, that proof that what you're thinking is correct. It's proving your theory. Another time that happened was just after I'd had my second daughter. Everyone seemed to be pregnant. I just couldn't quite figure it out, but everyone suddenly seemed to be having babies. And my daughter was my last and my youngest, so I knew I wasn't going to have any more. And somewhere in my brain, it was subconsciously finding all the pregnant people possible to go, well, everyone's having babies right now, even though that may not be the case. And with opportunities in business, this cognitive bias, this confirmation bias works really well if you are thinking about those opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere. If you tell yourself opportunities are everywhere, you're going to find them everywhere because your brain will be subconsciously trying to find them for you and bring them to the forefront of your consciousness, being like, yeah, look, see, there's an opportunity here and there's an opportunity here. Like, it will find them for you. There is a downside, however, to this confirmation bias, because it's important to be aware that it works both ways, okay? So confirmation bias is great if you're looking for opportunities, but it will also lead you to disregard any information that doesn't agree with what you're thinking. So when you are negatively thinking things, confirmation bias will find proof of that. If you're looking for opportunities everywhere and it sees non-opportunities, it will forget that, and it won't bring that to your consciousness. It will hide that away. If you're looking for blue cars or yellow cars, your brain will automatically forget the fact that there's red ones on the road. It's a strange phenomenon, but it is something you can use to your advantage as a business owner. So as you can see, and as you've heard throughout this episode, opportunities truly are everywhere. And that is just a small selection of examples of where I have found opportunities in the strangest of places, even as recently as just a few days ago. So as a recap, check your DMs. There's opportunities in there, and quite often they may not be exactly what you're providing right now as a product or service, but may expand your offering and help you to build a better business that way. Reflect on your skills. Have a look at your hobbies that you currently have. What things do you do where you can start building networks and find opportunities and connections? Maybe your children go to football and you stand on the touchlines on a Saturday or sit in the stands. Maybe you normally sit in the car and get some emails done. Get out of the car, stand on the touchline, start talking to the other parents, start talking to the people in the field. There could be some amazing connections there and open some doors for some opportunities. Maybe you are someone who goes to the gym. Maybe you're somebody who enjoys painting and you're going to go to a painting exhibition, and you'll be surprised how many business owners, or your ideal client is, depending on what business you have, they could be hiding literally in plain sight right in front of you and you're not even realizing. And also use yellow car theory to your advantage. Whether that's you getting up in the morning and telling yourself, opportunities are heading my way, I find opportunities everywhere, whether it's conscious or subconscious, use that cognitive bias to help you seek out those opportunities that really are hidden in plain sight. And my final piece of advice to all of you listeners is ask for opportunities. The biggest mistake I see business owners make time and time again is sitting there and not asking. I did it for 2 years. I presumed opportunities were going to fall in my lap. And the minute I started asking, the more opportunities that opened their doors to me. And the craziest things I'm doing and the craziest things I've got coming up in the next few weeks, that quite often I have to pinch myself that they're even in the diary. So if I could offer one thing from this week's episode, ask for those opportunities. The worst someone can say is no, and you move on to the next person. And it may even be that person that says no then says yes later down the line. Like, don't take no as a never. Sometimes it's a no never, or sometimes it's a no not right now. And what we often do, and what I tell my clients to do, is to ask people, and when they say no to the opportunity, ask them, is it a no not now, or is it a no never? And if it's a not now, keep them on your lead chart, however you keep hold of your leads, and reconnect with them later down the line. I hope this episode has been really useful. I hope that my experiences can help you to see that opportunities truly are everywhere. And if you do get some opportunities hidden in plain sight from the back of this episode, please do drop me an email or find us on social media and let me know, because I love to hear your success stories. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Please connect with us on social media. Like, rate and review wherever you are listening to this podcast so that I can help more business owners build a better business. See you next week.